when he was president, we were still finding ourselves in a position where you had a notion that we were this safe country. The truth is, I'm the only president this century that doesn't have this decade, that doesn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world like he did.
Joe Biden's debate performance, not the only part being criticized. Biden facing backlash over those remarks, falsely claiming no troops were killed under his watch, despite the 13 service members killed in his disastrous Afghanistan withdrawal. Our next guest served in Afghanistan, knows all about that chaotic fallout. Former Green Beret commander, Congressman, and Colonel Michael Waltz joins us now. I'm sure while you were watching, just like me, the moment those words came out of his mouth, I was like, what about Afghanistan?
Right. And Pete, it's not only the 13 gold stars from Afghanistan, it's the 3 gold stars from Iraq suffering under that were killed by Iranian-backed militias in Iraq. But look, these families have suffered so much. First, it was listening to Biden say repeatedly on the national stage that the Afghanistan withdrawal was a total success, an outstanding success. Then seeing him check his watch as the flag draped coffins went flowing by, and then to see State of the Union after speech, after engagement, where he won't even say Afghanistan, much less even say their names. And we remember Steve Nakui, who was arrested in the State of the Union when he had just finally had it and yelled out. But President Trump has promised them full transparency. When he gets into office, he's going to release all the tapes, all the emails, all the evidence of what happened. I just saw him at the Virginia rally and thanked him on behalf of these Gold Star families again for at least mentioning, at least saying that their sacrifice was not in vain.
Absolutely. Not to mention, we just learned that the suicide bomber at Abbey Gate was someone that had been released because of, I mean, so it's all sideways. I also, you also heard when President Trump said, you fired nobody over what happened in Afghanistan. And he made a claim that the vets and military support Donald Trump. You're around as many vets and military folks as anybody. What do you think of Donald Trump's claim that the military has his back? Because that's what I hear.
Well, just at this Virginia rally, I talked to some of the Navy active duty, and they said, hey, so many people wanted to come because there's so many Navy bases around that part of Virginia. So many wanted to come. Their commanders had to let them off a couple of hours early because the bases were emptying out. I'm telling you, half that crowd were military there to see President Trump talk about how he's going to restore strength and make our adversaries once again fear us abroad. Nobody wants to fight wars, Pete, especially those that have to go do it. And we have to restore deterrence. We literally can't survive another 4 years of this. And I don't want any more debates. I told the president no more debates, because not politically, but because the cartels, the Ayatollahs, Putin, Xi, they're all watching. They all smell opportunity in the next 5 months. And, God help us.
You're right. You're reminding us of what a dangerous time it is. If there were a rationale for no more debates, it would be to not send those signals of weakness that we're sending right now. And it is amazing how much there's a clamoring inside our forces for Donald Trump to come back as commander in chief. Here's a statement the White House put out, by the way, after they were called to the carpet for saying no one had been killed. The White House said, President Biden cares deeply about our service members, their families, and the immense sacrifices they've made. That's why the president attended the dignified transfer. They didn't mention the looking at the watch thing. Of the 13 brave service members who lost their lives in Afghanistan on August 26, 2021, as well as of the 3 who lost their lives in Jordan earlier this year. So they're responding. They know he messed up, of course. You just wonder whether he knows. But, Colonel, we're moving up on Independence Day, the 4th of July. What's your message to the country right now at this uneasy time?
Well, number one, we can't ever take our independence for granted. And number two, we just need to take a step back, Pete. And you're a student of history. All throughout world histories, kings, queens, emperors, they determined what rights you had, who you could marry, what career you could have, what piece of land you could or could not have. And our founding fathers brilliantly, uniquely, in world history, had never before been done, said, no, you, the people, have inalienable rights, and you, the people, will determine what government can and can't do. And they put it in an amazing document, the Constitution, that, oh, by the way, was allowed and had a mechanism to be improved through amendments over time. It is such a unique moment in world history. It had never before been done. We can't ever take it for granted. At the end of the day, I'm a huge proponent of what's called the enumerated powers. It is explicitly written in the Constitution what government can or can't do. Everything else is with the people.
Beautifully said. Colonel and Congressman Waltz, thank you so much for your time, and have a great 4th.